Before we continue on the attack on the mind, today allow us to talk about independence as a mechanism for defense. And in this discussion, I will be using an example of a child or a young lady that has been raised by a single parent, either a single mother or a single father. And I will use this example to bring my message home. And I believe that at the end of it, we are going to communicate. So we are going to talk about independence as a mechanism for defense. And as we always say that on our show, we are talking about real life situations. We are talking about matters pertaining life in our youth, in our relationship life, pertaining our spiritual life, anything that touches to our life. We say that in Echoes of Eternity show, this is where we touch on all perspectives of life, all aspects of life, be it physical life, be it spiritual life, be it relationship life. And by the help of God, through the speakers that we have invited before, or that them that we shall be inviting later on the show, I believe that we are touching your life and you are getting something that is important to you, or that is in one way or the other, changing your understanding or your perspective about life. So let me ask you a question. Have you met anyone that has used independence as a tool for self-defense? What am I meaning by independence? That these are people that have been raised or that have grown up knowing that they can do all things through themselves and by themselves. So they grow up independent, not leaning on anyone, not leaning on their parents, not leaning on their friends, not leaning necessarily on anyone, but they believe that they can do all things through themselves and by themselves. So when they grow up, you find that this character or this trait within them develops a defense system within their lives. This character develops a defense mechanism within them, and most often they might use this character or this trait in their lives as a defense mechanism against anything that might seem to happen later on. In this era, you find that people will say, or young men will say, that don't marry a woman that has been raised by a single mother. And you ask them why, they will tell you kind of things that at the end of the day or somewhere along the relationship, they will just still break up because they have seen their mother live alone, stay alone, do everything by herself. So even in marriage, other people would doubt if these really ladies can keep their marriage, or if maybe in another way, young men will say that they are not advisable, they cannot be corrected, so kind of a thing. So each person has a different perspective on independence in our lives. And when these guys grow up, be it a gentleman or be it a lady, when they grow up, you realize that they will always use this trait within them to try and defend themselves later on in life against some relationships, be it a male to male relationship, be it a male to woman relationship, be it a woman to woman relationship. They might use independence, the inner strength within themselves, as a defense mechanism. So this idea that we are talking about, it touches on how families experiences can shape a person's view of the world. This idea of independence as a tool of defense would really express, or will really touch on matters, on families, on how they experience and their livelihood shapes people's perception of the world. But most important, not to assume that every woman raised by a single mother will think or behave the same way. This is the narrative in boys, the growing men, that every woman that has been raised by a single parent, a single mother, they end up like thinking the same or behaving in the same way. Why? Because somewhere along the discussion I will answer you. But let me ask you a question. Have you ever interacted with these people, our sisters and our brothers that have been raised by a single parent? Or are you a single parent by yourself? Are you raising a girl or a son by yourself? Maybe you'll help us to understand the idea behind independence as a tool for defense. So a person who grows up by a single parent may develop a strong independence because why? They have witnessed their one parent. They have witnessed one parent carry significant responsibility. This experience can influence how they view relationships, how they see authority, how they view trust, and to the extent how they view partnership. As a result, these may be cautious about receiving one, correction, two, direction, or even leadership from other people. Not because they are rebellious, but because independence to them has become a survival mechanism. To them, independence is not something else, but to them, independence has become a survival mechanism. So, when you meet these people, and on this show, maybe in this conversation, you are listening to me, you are maybe a victim, you are in this category that you've been raised by a single parent. We are not here to blame you, we are not here to say negative things about you, but we are here to educate each other. That you find that this particular character of independence, because you have seen it from your parent, be it your father, you have seen it from your mother, and they have played every part in your life for provision, for protection, anything that you needed. They have been there for you single-parentedly. So, to you, as you grow up, you might not really appreciate the value of the other parent, in quotes, the one that is not visible or the one that is not present right now, be it a father or be it a mother, because you've seen either it's a mother taking care of you or it's a father taking care of you, and anything that you need comes from them. So you might not really see the value of the other parent. In really sense, we are supposed to be raised by all of our parents, but because of one thing that or the other that we cannot even talk about, or we cannot really we are not part of it, but we found ourselves in a particular setting. So when we grow up in this environment, you find that we are learning each and everything from our parents because we imitate what they do, and we believe that anything that a parent does, it's for our own good. So we might inherit this particular trait from them of self-independence, self-dependence, that you are not depending on anyone. And as you grow up, let me just talk to you because you are listening to me this evening. As you grow up with this trait within you of independence, you will find that it will not just be a character, but it will become a survival mechanism in your life. That you will grow up knowing that this is a system within myself, this is a character that I cannot live without. So this kind of very sensitive conversation, because it will deal with real life experiences that shape how people, number one, how people will love, how people will trust, and how people will relate in relationships. Let's begin by saying this. Maybe being raised by a single mother is not a disadvantage. Yeah, this is true. Being raised by a single parent, it's not a disadvantage, nor does it automatically make someone difficult to love. In fact, as we see around, we see that many strong and successful and emotionally intelligent women, they come from a single parent. They are coming from single parented homes. Most of the strong women, the focused women, and the successful women, those that are emotionally intelligent, you find that if you look back and try to trace their background, you find that most of them have been raised by a single parent, either by a single mother or either by a single father. However, every environment will leave an imprint in our life. Every environment we grow in will leave an imprint. It will leave an evidence of our lives. It will leave a visible mark within us. If you are raised by both parents, it will leave an imprint. If you're raised by a single parent, it will leave an imprint. and we shall grow in this particular setting of the imprint that the life has given to us. So a young lady who watched her mother carry the weight of life alone may have learned a few lessons. If maybe you are a lady or you are a boy that have maybe grown up by your mother or raised by your father, there are particular things that you learn from them. And ladies, they will learn things that like I don't depend on anyone. Men can leave anytime. If I don't do it myself, it won't get done. And then things like strength means not needing help. These are some of the things that ladies will learn from their single mothers, that anytime in life a man will leave. Or things like they cannot depend on anyone. They only depend on themselves. They will learn things like to them, strength means not getting help from somewhere else. For them to be strong, they believe that when they do things by themselves, they become strong. But these beliefs are not often not taught verbally. Why? Because these skills or these beliefs, they are taught through observation. They are not taught verbally. No one will sit them down to tell you that men can live. They will watch how their mother is behaving, how their father is behaving, and so these particular beliefs, they are instilled in our heads or in their minds by the virtue of observation. So what they see is what they believe in. It's not what they hear, it's what they see happening. That's what they believe in. So in this particular setting, we shall look at the survival mindset of these particular people, because what they see is what they believe in. So what is the survival mindset? What many people call being difficult, it's sometimes a mindset, a survival mindset. Being difficult is not a character, it's not a trait. To other people, it's only but a survival mindset. Imagine a girl watching her mother wake up early, pay bills, raise children, solve crises in families, and keep the family together without any man present. Over some time, this young lady will begin to admire the resilience in her mother. She will begin to admire the character in her mother. She will begin to admire the trait, the trend, the life that her mother is living. So sometimes it will be difficult for you to give a direction, to give a correction, or even to give leadership to her, because she has seen her mother do everything and anything by herself. The challenge will come when now survival habits enters a healthy relationship with these boys or with these ladies. Now when when the trait of survival habit enters into a relationship, maybe it's just a healthy relationship, but you find that when now these particular habits, I don't want to do anything, I just want to survive. I'm surviving. I'm going by the wind. Now when this particular mind comes into a relationship, a man might say, let me help you, but then the woman will always hear things like, he's saying so because he thinks I'm incapable, I cannot do it. A man might say, I think we should do this in this way, but the woman will just hear their own things and say, judgment, like he's judging me because he thinks that I'm not good enough. Yet this is not the perception, this is not the mind, but because they have developed within them a character out of what they have seen from their parents. No, so these people, these ladies, or these are brothers and sisters, they will always perceive things differently. Some of them, if maybe they're in a relationship or they are married, a man might offer leadership, but she may always interpret it as control. So there is a difference between being led and being controlled. So we cannot blame anybody, because they have seen with their eyes that they can do anything by themselves anytime they feel like doing. Not because she's stubborn, but because independence has become part of their identity. Like they cannot do without independence. They're not stubborn, they are good people, They are good ladies, they are good boys, but because independence, kujitegemea, imeingia akilini mwao, they cannot live without it. It becomes the defining word. I can do it by myself. Do you know why correction feels personal? Because to many people, correction is supposed to be an information for adjustment. It's supposed to be an information for change. It's supposed to be an information for improvement. It's supposed to be an information for a better future. But to some people who have had to fight their way through life, correction can feel like being criticized. When they are corrected, they feel like they are criticized. Wanaonewa, wanachukiwa, hawahitajiki. Yet this is not the real fact of the matter. If a person's value has been built around being strong, being capable, and self-sufficient, any other suggestion they might receive, they should change something when they are given information. Maybe it's a lady, maybe unaambiwa fanya kitu fulani or do something different. You find that this information might feel like to them it's an attack. It's an attack on the very thing that has helped them to survive. We know you can do all things by yourself. Nowadays we are doing things like women empowerment. It's good, but women empowerment should not lose, should not destroy, should not create a different identity and perspective of life. So people that have fought their way through life, when they are corrected, they might think that anything that is spoken against their normal way of life becomes an attack. Yet it's not an attack. It's just a room for us to improve in our weakness. It's just a room for us to do better in our weakness. This is why some conversations in life, they will become arguments when they were never intended to be one. When you are talking this to such like people, we need to be very careful, because any conversation will build up like an argument, because for them, they believe that there is a place where they are not supposed to be touched, either verbally or by action. So this issue isn't all. The issue here is not always the message. The issue is the perception. How do they perceive? Because sometimes it's the emotional lens through which the message is received. You might be telling them something positive and something helpful from a good heart, but the way they receive the message, they will see it as you attacking them. Have you ever, by the way, corrected someone that they know they are right? The issue is your message, but to them, what matters is the emotional attachment to that particular thing that we are speaking about. Some of us, we are emotionally attached to fear. So when we told to try something positive, that anxiety, that fear, that phobia in us will always create a different message apart from what the speaker is talking about. So because of this character, or most often from the ladies, I need to speak to my fellow men, because there are things that you should understand. If you are in an environment where we are relating with these ladies that are raised in a single parenthood, maybe you are at workplace, maybe she's your step sister, maybe she's your step sibling, maybe she's your step cousin. There are things that you need to understand. As a man, we need to understand that people are not projects to be fixed. When we are dealing with this kind of people, ladies, or if you are a lady dealing with this type of a man, when ameleleo from a single parenthood, a single parent setting, you need to understand that a person is not a project that can be fixed today or tomorrow or the other day. Many men will make a mistake of entering a relationship with an attitude of, in quotes, I will teach her. You cannot fix a human being. You cannot fix a person. These are not projects. So as a man, when you are dealing with such like individuals, know that there is nothing you can fix. Only thing we need to do is for us to learn each other, accept each other, and be willing to work together for the better of tomorrow. So if you are listening to me, have you or are you currently in this particular kind of a relationship? Maybe it's a sisterhood relationship, it's a work relationship, or maybe it's a love relationship, and you are dealing with one of these people that have been raised by a single parent. Let me hear from you. Have you ever tried to correct one, or have you ever been corrected? And if you have ever tried to correct one, please help me or help others know what was their response. How did they respond to your correction? And if you are the one that was corrected, how did you receive the message? Did you receive it positively, or did you see it as an attack or a criticism on you? Because when you enter into a relationship and you say that I will fix him, I'm going to fix him, he will know that I'm a woman. Or you are a man and you are saying that I'm going to fix her, she will know that I'm a man. Let me tell you for free that this approach will never work. This approach will never work. Why? Because people are not changed when they are pressured. People are not changed when they feel like they are under pressure. People change when they feel that they are safe. People will change their character. People will change their trade. People will change how they behave only when they feel that the setting, the environment they are in is safe. So if you want to show leadership, let it not be shown by dominion, because dominion cannot, like, I want to be up and above anything or everybody. If you have this mind that I'm going to be above and over anybody in this relationship, then I have to tell you I'm afraid to be a carrier of this message. That particular relationship, its life, it's short-lived. It won't last for long, because people are not projects to be fixed. People, we are created to cohabitate, to live together, and to share our emotions and minds and thoughts, but not to take advantage of one's weakness or one's setup or one's background for us to dominate over them. Through consistency, character, responsibility, and showing love to such like people, you find that they will now begin to admire you more. They will begin to be interested in you more. They will begin to love even the more. And the more they do that, you realize that the more that they will try to adjust themselves, the more they will try to become a better version of themselves. A woman is more likely to trust a man's direction when she has first learned that she can trust his heart. So if you want to be at peace with these creatures, sometimes they are stubborn, sometimes they are living because out of fear. But if you want to be at peace with them, please make sure that they gain trust in your heart. Yeah, I was talking to men. Maybe you are dealing with this particular kind of a woman. Now let me talk to a woman dealing with this particular kind of men raised in a single parenthood environment. Umelelewa na mzazi mmoja, wewe ni mwanamume. Now to the ladies, what are the things that you need to know about this man? Know that strength is a beautiful thing. Independence is a beautiful thing. But there is a difference between being independent and being unreachable. There is a difference between being independent and being unreachable. Ladies, if you are dealing with this kind of a man, you should not confuse between independence and being reachable. Because you find that most of the time these men, they speak less, they speak little, they are not extroverts. They are by themselves. They sit alone, they think alone, they plan in silence. So their silence or their independence, you should not perceive it as, in quotes, being unreachable. They are very reachable. They are very accessible only when you understand. Because for us to have a healthy relationship, there has to be vulnerability. Partnership in life means allowing one person to contribute advice, correct, challenge, and strengthen you. That you will allow the other person to, one, their mind, contribute their resources, contribute their time, contribute their thoughts to advise, show correction where they feel like something has to be corrected, give their challenge or challenge the present action we are doing. And when we allow others as well to strengthen us, receiving help in life does not make us weak. Receiving help in life means that we are open to growth. We are willing to grow. Listening does not make us less of intelligent. When you listen to people's advice, when you listen to corrections, it does not mean that you are illiterate. It does not mean that you are not intelligent. It means that you have given a door for improvement. You have given a door for correction. So being guided in certain areas does not make you less valuable. Some people feel like when they are guided or given direction, they feel like, in this particular setting, I'm not valuable, I'm worthless. This is not the real thing. When you are guided in certain areas, it does not mean that you are not valuable. The strongest people are often those who are secure enough to learn. The strongest people are those who are willing to learn. The strongest people are those who are taking lessons, who are taking opinions from other people and using them positively for their growth, using them positively for their elevation, using them positively to see them improve. So, what's the bigger truth here? That the real issue is not single mothers. The real issue is not unhealed expectations. I mean, experiences. A woman raised by a single mother can become an exceptional wife or a partner. A woman raised in a two-parent setting. So, men, we should not look at these sisters as women that cannot be loved. We should not look at these sisters as people that are stubborn. The only thing that you need to understand that wamelelewa in a setting where everything they saw happen in life, it was coming from their mother. Everything they saw, every achievement they have had in their life came from their mother. Maybe the father was not there to be seen, or the father neglected his duties. So they have grown up knowing that a woman can do anything by herself. When you get into a relationship with these ladies, please, I want you to understand that independence is not unreachability, that these people are also human beings. The only thing they are doing, they are using independence as a defense mechanism in fear of uh, uh, being looked down, in fear of being isolated, or for fear of uh, losing their purpose or point in life. So, in this show or on our next episode, I'll be glad, or we shall be joined by some of these sisters and brothers that have been raised in this setting. I want you, please, on our next week's episode, to stay tuned at 7 p.m. East African time, because we shall be going live. We shall be live next Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. We shall be live with one brother and one sister that have been raised by a single parent, be it a mother or be it a father. And on this show, they will be sharing their experiences, how they have managed to be where they are, how they have managed to become who they have become. And I believe that it's going to help us, it's going to change or sharpen your mind, that we are not going to look down upon them anymore. On this show, we are not blaming. On this show, we are not condemning. On this show, we are not attacking. We are here so that we can help each other for a better tomorrow, to awaken souls that have gone to a snap, souls that are slumbering, or to awaken hopes and destinies that are otherwise getting distorted. So when you speak, when you share your mind, please don't attack anybody. Don't speak negative about anybody. But if you can speak something positive about myself, about your sister, about your brother, I welcome you to be a partner so that we can change the mindset of our society. Let's not attack our own blood because of where they're coming from, or because who has raised them up, or because of where or in which type of setting they have been raised. Remember that independence is not weakness. Independence is not seclusion. Independence is not maringo. This is a defense mechanism with these people. Thank you. Shall see you shortly. See you on our next episode on Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. I'm your host, Harrison. May the Lord bless you and shalom. I want to thank you and welcome you, please, to support us, support the show. We are still growing. Support our page on YouTube, Echoes of Eternity Show, on TikTok, Echoes of Eternity Show, on Facebook, Echoes of Eternity Show. Please, I want to ask you, with all due respect, go to go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel, and all shall be well. Shalom.